Learn how to use the fill method to quickly set or reset all elements inside a typed array. We want to look at how you can use the fill method to fill all elements of a typed array with a static value in this example. When you create a brand new type array with an explicit size, like say it's 32 array, and then you give it a number of slots, or it's 16 array and give it a number of slots. Now, what JavaScript does is that it automatically fills all that dots with 0. Whatever the number of slots you passed in, it will fill them with 0. So if you now want to jumpstart that array with a completely different number instead of 0, you can use the fill method, because the fill method will allow you to fill the array with a static value. It acts like a digital paint bucket to splashing your chosen value across your entire array instantly. So let's look at the example that clearly demonstrates this to us. So the first thing to do is that I need to create an array that will take a 10 slot. So if I create a typed array of 10 elements, and so like it has been explained that all these 10 slots will default to 0, 0, 0 until it reaches 10. So this is how your array looks like when you give it 10 slots. So I'll go ahead and make an array. My array. I'll call the new constructor and say existing array. And I'll go ahead and pass these 10 slots. So it is now time to overwrite this default 000 that is contained in my inside my typed array. And how do I do that? That is where the fill method comes in. So the purpose of the fill method is that it will override every single slot. So with whatever value, so with whatever number value, whether 5, 10, 20, 100, or 200. So in my case, I'm just going to call my array, and I want to fill it with a number value of 200. So now that I've done that, it is time to now display the result on the screen. Display the results on the screen. So call document.get elements by ID. And now you can see that I'm getting 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. Now, this example just demonstrates to us how you can overwrite all the 10 empty slots, which by default will contain zeros in the index position. So it shows us how we can overwrite all the 10 empty slot value inside our integer 16 array instance, changing each element from its default state of 0 directly into the number 200. So assuming I passed in something like 20, then my typed array will now be prefilled with 20, 20 to replace the default instance, the default 0 at the default instance. So you can see how this method works with typed array in JavaScript. So what we basically did here is we call our array, then we pass in that method, and then we pass the value to what we have inside our field to override what we currently have as the default numbering value. So you don't need to fill the entire array. You can pass an optional start index and end index if you want to report an exact subsection of the array to fill. So what am I basically saying? So as this is right here, now I can do something like this. Say I want 18 and 19, like an index and then start position inside. Oh, sorry. This is supposed to be inside, not outside. So I can do like this, 14 and 18. So what I'm basically saying is that I want a start position and end position. And I can as well do 4. So you can see it. So 0, 0, 0, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. So you can specify a starting point and an end point to pinpoint an exact subsection of the array to fill, like I just demonstrated here. But in this example, I'm just going to remove the start point and end point and go directly and overwrite that will place all the defaults contained in the typed array. Now, you might want to ask that, does fill method leave my original array clone and give me a new one? Well, no. The fill method is a mutator method. That is, it completely overrides the existing data inside that specific memory buffer. So if you need to preserve your original array value, make sure to clone it or copy the array first before splashing a new fill value onto it. And now, if you look closely at what we have here, instead of writing a manual for loop that step through each of the 10 indices one by one to inject the number 200, we run a unified command using this filled method because typed array maps directly to read binary hardware memory blocks. So the engine completes this mass filling operation with extreme low-level execution speed, and that is one of the reasons why typed array are high performance in JavaScript.